I guess a good way to think about it is like you have a really nice luxury car, and then like the engine is really
Okay.
so like the entire time you're just not having a good time. But like you like it because it's good quality. The engine just sucked. That's what that is.
Hello, everyone. We're the Continuity Crew. I'm Will.
I'm not ready.
I'm TJ.
That's TJ. This is Win. And yeah, TJ. Look, it's a TJ. And he's our first like official guest that's not part of the crew or a family member. So it's a big deal. Kind of, I guess, 100 sub like new thing. So it's pretty cool. So
Thanks for having me.
Of course, man.
There's literally no reason you should have me because I'm just
You-
a guy
you
who likes
know-
movies.
well, that's what we were. And look at us now.
200 in and we still don't understand it.
Yeah, 200 videos in.
But right.
But yeah, back with another. Oh God, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to learn
Yeah,
my.
let me slide over
Um,
just a little bit.
But stay close to that mic, or he'll get
I
mad
will.
at you.
Trust me, I know.
But we got another episode of Continuity Crew podcast. This is episode 4, and today we're talking about anti-heroes. What's an anti-hero, you might ask? Let's give it. TJ, since you were kind of the inspiration, what your words? What's an anti-hero?
I guess really like in my opinion, anti-hero just kind of leads to be some like a hero who doesn't have traditional heroic qualities. Usually murders and does drugs and drinks and all that sort of fun, super fun stuff that regular heroes just don't get to enjoy.
So we're all almost there. We
Yeah.
just don't murder.
I need to.
Yeah, sure, Blake.
Oh, that's different.
It is different.
That's someone
Yeah.
trying to get rid of bad guys.
But when I mean, I agree with him. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, that's about it.
Yeah. So, and from Google, I took the description. An anti-hero or anti-heroine is a main character in a story who lacks conventional heroic qualities and attributes such as idealism, courage, and morality. Pretty much what you said. TJ.
That makes sense, really.
Yeah. So, but we're gonna talk about anti-heroes in movies, our favorite ones, some famous ones, what we like about an anti-hero. I just talking with TJ, met him through a friend. We've gotten pretty close with movies and stuff, but like I realized he likes a lot of anti-heroes. So
They're just the more enjoyable to watch. Traditional heroes are kind of boring when you're watching them, and it's like, okay, they're a good guy. They're always going to make the right choice. I like seeing someone like Judge Dredd
yes,
just fire into a crowd of civilians.
just to get the one guy.
Just to get the one guy.
Yeah, and there's maybe later on in the episode, but we both like Joker, and I don't know if you consider Joker an anti-hero, at least the Joaquin Phoenix one, and Wynn hates that movie.
Joaquin.
So I thought maybe later in the episode we'll talk about that, because just since we have you here,
what he's saying is they're going to bully me as to why it's good.
little bit.
That's the only reason I was actually invited on.
Partially.
Pretty much.
It grew into the anti-hero idea, but it's partially.
See, the first thing that Will told me was that when TJ was invited, Will was like, he really likes Joker. We should invite him, and we'll just bully you as to why we think Joker's good.
Look, some of our favorite episodes that we've done are conflict, so just go look
That's
at.
some of our favorite. I don't know if they're good.
Well, somebody just told us we had good energy, so let's keep it up. But some famous anti-heroes. Do either of you have any in mind? When
I have Nightcrawler. That's about it.
Nightcrawler?
Yeah,
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I was thinking Nightcrawler is definitely fits the bill on that one.
Yes, for sure. And that's all three of ours. I think our favorite movie. I've talked about it with both of you. But Jake Gyllenhaal, love of my life. But it's good stuff. Good stuff. But he follows that role of he's gonna do what he wants, no matter like what. And you could kind of say he's a hero, but also you don't want to root for him, and that's kind of where it comes like the anti-hero stuff.
I really think that's kind of the best quality of an anti-hero is you're watching them and you're just like, oh geez, I don't know if I really want to root for this guy.
Oh geez, you're the protagonist, but
that's the rallying cry of an anti-hero is just for the audience members to go, oh geez.
Oh jeez. Oh,
the best part for an anti-hero for me is oh fuck you, why'd you do that? And then you just feel bad for him.
Why'd you
Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Adam Sandler's character, he's just fuck Shut the fuck up.
Stop.
Stop.
He barely borders on a hero. Like,
I know,
he's
man.
he's really the main character of that movie. I don't know.
But it's like you can't. He's the protagonist, but he's also his own antagonist.
Yes, and that's what makes that movie so rewatchable.
Yes, it's good stuff. But a couple of like famous ones I had down. I think honestly this might have been the start, at least in film, for anti-heroes. And I've even got one that might be written, but westerns, like those old cowboys. A lot of them were just dickheads, but like they're still saving girls from bad guys. So
And shooting Native Americans.
well, exactly.
Yeah, those movies are definitely products of their time, and
Yes,
and at
they
the
are.
time they did not like Native Americans. That's just kind of a thing. Definitely one that I think kind of comes to mind instantly is like True Grit. Like Rooster Cogburn in that movie
Yes.
is like totally not like
He's not a
totally not a
great guy.
hero at all, like traditionally anyway, but then he ends up like pulling through.
Yeah,
And,
I'd say like 50-50 on the John Waynes. Like one that comes to mind is The Searchers. He's a dickhead, but he's still good at heart for the most part. Or just any Clint Eastwood one. He's like Few Dollars More, Hang 'em High, Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Those spaghetti westerns.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like anti-heroes. So actually, when I have one on here, the written one I was talking about, Don Quixote.
Oh yeah, Don Quixote. Yeah.
He would be somewhat of an anti-hero.
Yeah.
And have you seen The Man Who Killed Don Quixote?
I have not, unfortunately.
So
It's
it's a watch, man. But it's got Adam Driver and God, who's the other guy? But Don Quixote's one. I would highly recommend The Man Who Killed Don Quixote if you're just drunk or under the influence in any way. There's like talking meat at one point. Yeah, exactly. That's the face I made. 'Cause I was sober.
There's a lot of weird shit. Oh yeah, there was.
There was.
Yeah.
But then when this is more your realm, but TV shows, I feel like some of the best TV shows out there are anti-heroes.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad, Dexter,
Oh gosh.
Mad Men, Sopranos, like those are some of the top TV shows of all time. And they're
Peaky
all,
Blinders.
Peaky,
Don't
yeah.
forget that.
Hey, I haven't watched any of them. So, well, I have watched part of Dexter, but
I've seen one episode of Peaky Blinders.
I lie. I lied. I watched like the first 2 seasons of Peaky and then stopped because I just hadn't had the 3rd season. It's been so long. Don't remember it at all. But any TV shows that you've watched that I probably haven't, that I didn't say there?
You've probably seen it. I think you have. What is that? True Detective.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
that's absolutely.
So I started the first episode a little while ago, and it's so good.
It's
I haven't gone any further in it, but I need to.
What episode you in?
The first one. I've got like 10 minutes left in it.
You're
Yeah,
definitely
see-
going like episode 3.
Season 2, from what I've heard, is like they just decided, hey, you know how serious the first one was? Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
gonna go off the
They
fucking
did.
rails.
Because who's the
it's
new
got
detective?
Vince Vaughn and
Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams, and who's the
guy
dude?
from Battleship.
The
The main character from
Yeah.
Battleship. What's the other guy's name?
Dude, I
oh
have no
gosh,
clue.
he's playing Penguin.
Oh,
in the new
yeah,
Batman
Colin
movie.
Farrell.
Yeah,
Farrell.
Yeah.
Freaking
And
love that
it's
guy.
it's like the best part. The best part is there's a line that Vince Vaughn says that he's like, "Yeah, you're giving me blue balls of the heart," and,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "How did this get made? Like, how is this really a thing that's happening?"
Well,
right now?
and then have you watched the 3rd season one? Because it's got your boy Mahershala Ali.
No, I haven't.
He looks. I mean, the clips I've seen from it looks good.
I need to finish season 2, but it's a hard watch because Vince Vaughn is like he's supposed to be serious. He's supposed to
he's
be
Vince
like
Vaughn.
almost this like gangster dude, and I'm like, no.
Well, you see, it doesn't make sense because Vince Vaughn can pull off a
Yeah.
serious role. Because I don't know if you guys have seen Brawl in Cell Block 99.
Yeah,
It's a
I have
fantastic movie. It's like a little like a little action B movie
Sounds
or
like it.
whatever. And he's got this ridiculous Southern like accent. It's hilarious.
I'm trying to something. A
He
lot
tears
of
the
it's-
hood off of a car, Will.
Well, dude, like count me in. But it sounds like it reminds me just the Vince Vaughn you're talking about. This is kind of derailing, but it reminds me of Brendan Fraser in the No Sudden Move.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And then one we're all familiar with is the Marvel and DC ones. Catwoman, Deadpool, Batman, kind of.
Punisher.
Yeah, Punisher, Wolverine. They're
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones, pretty much all those Netflix shows.
Nah, not really. Luke Cage and what's his name, Iron Fist are kind of like
I
do
guess.
good.
Well, fine. Then 3 out of the 5.
2 out of the 3. Or yeah, I guess you're right because
Daredevil.
Punisher doesn't count in Defenders. I'm just saying.
Well,
He wasn't in it. I'm just saying. It's John Bernthal.
love that guy. But then I also have for another famous one, John Wick. He's essentially created a whole genre of movies. Like I feel like there's like 3 not spin-offs, but like
Rip-offs.
John Wick rip-offs that are coming out this year. There's The Protege,
Atomic Blonde.
Atomic Blonde.
Nobody wasn't a rip-off, I don't think.
That's the thing. I felt like I went into that movie thinking it was going to be a John Wick ripoff, but I love Bob Odenkirk, so I was like, let's see what this
Let's
is.
see what it is.
And surprisingly, it never once when I was watching it did I think, yeah, this is like a John Wick movie. It kind of is in the genre, but
Yes.
it
And the whole thing, what I was trying to say with that, it was like John Wick has essentially created this genre or reinvented this genre of making these spy killing a lot of people movies like a little more fun, I guess, or at least for me, because I was never into the espionage spy stuff, I guess. So yeah, I like the John Wick movie, so it's something. But those are some famous ones, and we've already said some of our favorites, but did we have any other favorites? You mentioned Judge Dredd, TJ.
Oh, absolutely, Judge Dredd. And that's the thing. I was one of the people that like defended when the remake came out. It's a great movie.
Because a lot of people hated that one.
Well, it's a great movie, but I was one of the few people that like kind of defended it because I was like, look, this movie, it's not the original one with Sylvester Stallone, but it's still fucking great.
Yes.
It's a great movie.
Have you seen the Judge ones? No?
Either one of them? You haven't seen the original
No,
either?
I haven't seen it. I think I have, but I don't remember. It was probably like an FX thing, like on FX channel, and I was like,
that makes
I'll
sense.
just put it on, and then I just forgot it.
remake. I think you'd respect the 80s one because it's Sylvester Stallone, but then the new one I don't know how you'd feel about it, but I'd like.
Is it like did they do like the RoboCop thing where it's like he's all futuristic and shit?
No.
It's
They
still
do-
kind of and these are one thing to kind of note on all of these. A lot of the famous ones are based off of like comic books, which Judge Dredd is, and it's interesting. I don't know which order you should watch them in almost, because it's like you're either gonna like one or like the other, or be okay with both. I feel like.
Are they set in like the same universe? Like it's supposed to be the same person, kind of?
It's supposed to be the same person, but
It's like a
they're in-
reboot.
Yeah, it's like a
Oh,
reboot.
okay.
So, but any favorite Marvel and DC ones? Because those are
Marvel one?
Yeah.
I don't really know. They don't really. Well, Deadpool, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of
Venom. At least Sony's
Venom, yeah.
branded him as an anti-hero.
Logan, Wolverine.
Yeah.
Wolverine for sure.
Yeah, definitely Wolverine's up there. Marvel
Still-
ones, I don't know. That's
Still
about it.
think Daniel Radcliffe should be Wolverine since he's short.
Is that a thing? Is that a thing I'm kind of missing out on? Or?
No, well, Wolverine's supposed to be short. He's like 5'3" in the comics.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'm like, and Daniel Radcliffe's like 5'6", so I'm like,
yeah, and then they
Dude.
get like 6'4".
yeah,
I don't know how,
Hugh
I don't know how
He's
tall
like
Hugh
six,
Jackman
he is like 6'4". Hugh Jackman to do it, and so it.
But
it
you
did-
gotta admit, though.
But no, he pulled it
Yeah.
off, and in the end, it was fine. It didn't matter. I'm
He's
just,
a tower of a dude, though. So I
Oh
mean,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
not
I'm
bad.
just being nitpicky.
there you are.
Then
I'm not even
Nightcrawler,
that nitpicky.
and then Nightcrawler. We
Over here, it's like, when you're so picky.
when you are
I am, but like I'm
Okay.
never like, oh, that dude is way too tall.
no, that's me being the MCU fanboy that you don't want me to be,
Yeah,
because
no,
that's your slot.
that's
Is
not
that
my
what
slot
is that
either.
what MCU fanboys do? Is they
They-
complain about
Oh,
how
yeah.
tall
About
Hugh
it,
Jackman is?
yeah.
They would like threaten to kill like Kevin Feige if they didn't cast a.
I think that there are better reasons to kill Kevin Feige.
There's like
There's
what
zero.
was that?
That
You think
man's
so?
a genius.
I don't know.
And one I've got down here for back to anti-heroes. Fleabag. You've watched that, Amazon, haven't you? No, I swear you have, because I told you to watch it.
You said about that girl.
The
who's,
Priest.
Like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
anti-hero.
the
Have you
weird
watched?
piece
I
with
have
the whole
not. I
like.
have not seen Fleabag.
So it's an Amazon Prime series. It's a British show, and it actually I think won a lot of like Emmys or Golden Globes or something. But like she's just a shit person, and like, but like you kind of root for her, but then she like hooks up with a priest. It's a whole thing, man. but it's a really good show, and I would highly recommend. That's just one of my personal favorites.
I wonder why. Is it because of sex that's in it?
No, I just thought it was a really good show.
Are you sure that's not what it is?
Yeah. It feels like when he says like there's a movie that's like really good, you have to ask him like, is there sex in it? And then sometimes he'll just be like, yeah, but like I just liked it because of the story.
I guess yeah, they're the only one
type of dude who watches porn and just says I like the story.
And it's like the storylines.
Yeah.
Well, the only one I can think on the top of my head that fits that description is
Black Raw.
What?
Never mind.
That's get your head out of the gutter. You made me forget what it's called now. It's the lesbian.
Blue is the warmest color.
Blue is the warmest color. Yeah,
it's a great movie.
Excellent movie.
The sex doesn't even need to be in that movie. That movie
and
would be
it's
great.
Incredible.
It's
yes,
fantastic.
Okay.
He's got Leia Seydoux, right? French chick.
Maybe
he was in James Bond Spectre.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yes. And then any others? Any favorites y'all have to add? Because I have a couple more going.
That's about it. Logan and Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TJ.
Yeah, it's kind of like what everybody we talked about. It's kind of the same thing.
I got just a couple more. I've got Spawn, and literally I've talked about this before. Haven't read any of the comics, just seen like the 90s, 80s movie and like some of the animated series. And I just said because he's badass. Like, look at the dude. He's cool as fuck. So.
I mean, he like kills God at one point in the comics. So,
yeah.
I mean,
So
how can you not be an anti-hero when you're fighting God?
So, yeah. And then I have Leon the Professional. I don't know if either of you have seen that.
Oh, yeah, I have.
Young Natalie Portman and that French dude that was in Godzilla.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a great movie, but I don't know. It's rewatching that movie, it was kind of like you notice things you didn't notice the first time you watched it.
I've only watched it once, actually. A lot of movies like that, like I enjoyed enough. I don't watch again because I'm just like,
I've seen it twice. I've watched it the first time. This is great. Gary Oldman kills it in that movie.
Yes.
Watched it the second time. I was like, man, Gary Oldman almost steals the entire show with how good he kills it in that movie.
And then I have Uncut Gems, and we kind of already talked about that, but he's one of those. He's almost a villain type. So, and then I have for our next segment, if we even call it a segment. All right, guys, anti-heroes, heroes, or villains? Which do y'all prefer, like story-wise, your favorite characters? What do you prefer?
Anti-heroes from my favorite storyline sometimes, but character is basically where anti-hero can shine.
Yes.
But like if it's like Joker, where it's like it's presented to him that everybody else is bad, then no. That's the only thing.
We'll get there. TJ, what about you?
I really like villains, to be honest.
Villains?
And it really comes
more
down
interesting.
to one of the very first like R-rated movies or whatever you want to say that I watched was Die Hard.
Yeah.
And it really hooked me on just how like a villain can be almost likable.
Alan
Rickman. Put some respect on the name.
Severus fucking Snape. Yes, sir.
It's so weird how at certain points you're watching him and it's like, man, he's like ice cold.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's like almost I kind of like him.
Yeah. It's like okay,
really mixed with it made me give him like mixed
feelings.
feelings.
That's something I think I've kind of learned and just trying to learn about. I guess screenwriting is like you don't have much of a story if you don't have a really good like antagonist, because otherwise it's just like happy-go-lucky and the villains do or the good guys win, but you have to have some pushback there, and a good villain who's cold like Alan Rickman or like an anti-hero like Nightcrawler or Uncut Gems, where it's like you don't know if you should cheer for them, and they're kind of the villain in themselves. You can do some cool stuff with that.
Honestly, sometimes you don't need antagonist.
Yeah, at all. You can be your own antagonist essentially,
or the world.
Or the world, yeah.
Like Joker should have been good at. But
yeah, like Joker.
Like Joker.
He really wasn't.
I think it's like Joker.
Dude, we'll get to that. He lives in a society.
We'll get to that.
It's the best thing because it's like in the comics. Oh yeah, you throw him into a vat of acid to make him crazy. And this one, it's like, oh, give him a low rent apartment with his mom.
The whole thing.
And Zazie Beetz as his neighbor.
Love interest.
Yeah, great. Love that movie. Then so for me, I guess I'd say I prefer an anti-hero / straight a villain that becomes a hero, like your Kylo Ren's, your Jaime Lannister. I love the character arc like that, where it's you're a bad guy, then you go good, and maybe you go back to being bad, like Jaime Lannister or Kylo getting kissed by his like stepsister or whatever, and then fading away. But characters you would want to see as, say, an anti-hero or have this struggle of like
Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny? Hey, that's not a bad one.
Same being a bad guy.
You're acting like Bugs Bunny isn't an anti-hero already.
He's kind of a dick. He's kind of a dick.
Yeah, he's a total dick.
Have you seen Space Jam yet?
The new one?
Yeah.
Why would you even ask me that question?
So you have?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I've refused.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like sitting there and I'd watched the original to get ready for the new one, and I was like, man, the original's so good. I really like it. Michael Jordan kind of really shines.
Keep it that way.
Yes.
And I was
see the demographic over there.
Keep it that way.
He didn't even like it. So
it was. I saw like the box office, like how much it pulled in, and it was like $115 million for the budget, and it pulled in like $15 million.
Yes. Yeah. I think over the weekend it made 30. And I think that was just domestic, but I'm sure maybe overseas it might have done better. I don't know, but it was pretty trash. Go check out our Space Jam review though. I won't remember to put the card, but maybe it's down there on those recommended. So go do that. I didn't have anything else written down, but anything else y'all wanted to talk about?
Loki's kind of an anti-hero.
He's become one. Any other things?
No, that's about it. That's all I got.
Hey, let's talk about Joe.
The shark from Jaws.
The shark from Jaws is
He's just trying to eat, man.
Yeah. He's kind of an anti-hero. You feel bad.
I feel like if you just watch the first one, but then you start watching all the sequels, and it's like this shark is trying to attack this family.
Well, that's all. That's Jaws' revenge.
It's like, you killed my dad.
You killed my dad. I'm coming to get you. We blew you up and electrocuted you, but you're still going.
That's insane to me. I've never seen any of the other ones. I've just seen the first one.
So yeah, first one blows up. Second one, he gets like electrocuted. It follows the same people. The third one has Dennis Quaid, and it's at a water park, and it has nothing to do with the other ones. Then the fourth one has Michael Caine, and it's the revenge one. It's really bad.
Austin Powers is kind of an anti-hero.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good one.
Prove me wrong.
I absolutely
Yeah,
not.
I'm sold.
Absolutely not.
I'm sold. Mole. But Joker, let's talk about it. Me and TJ love the movie, for everyone to know. Whenever it came out, it was literally my favorite movie. I had theories about it. Like, I'd never been so invested in a movie. Well, that's not necessarily true, but I saw it a lot in theaters. Me and TJ love it. Win doesn't. So why don't you like Joker? Give us
the story overall.
Yeah.
Listen, I like Joaquin Phoenix. Because like the entire time, he was amazing in that movie. He was incredible. But like the music was great. Mm-hmm. The way it looked was okay. There was definitely something that I really, really liked. But the story overall was just so lame and dumb. Because like, yeah, I get it that he's supposed to be in like a society, but it's so obvious that's like even the therapist person was like, they just don't really care about us. And then like the whole train scene, and it's like,
but yeah, they were beating the shit out of him for laughing.
Okay, and
the hardest part of having a mental illness is pretending like you don't have one.
I know, I get that. But the thing is, the entire time, everyone is so goofy and cartoonish. Everyone else around him is so goofy and cartoonish. It's not even, it doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel normal to even just see someone steal the board, that flip sign thing, and then just get beat up. Because literally one of the kids was like, oh yeah, I'll beat him up. And just like, okay, but why?
Hey, it's a comic book movie. That's my defense.
So? The thing is, they were trying to disconnect themselves from the DC universe. Because like one, it was supposed to be this unique take on Joker. It was supposed to be a character. It was supposed to be a character analysis, but it kind of loses its way about midway through when you start learning that he's supposed to be like Bruce Wayne's son, or like it's implied that he's Bruce Wayne's son. It would have been cooler if he was just Joker, just doing Joker things and just being Joker, and not just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, this person, the follower Joker, killed the parents.
So I see what you're saying. But I like the take of that he's his son, or not his son, but I like to think he is, because it gives that Batman Joker connection so much more meaning. It leads to, apparently they're making more, which honestly I don't necessarily agree with, but they gave Joaquin, it sounds like, a boatload of money, and I mean, I would call him stupid if he didn't take it. So, but I don't know. I think as one of my favorite iterations of Batman, which honestly I've only read maybe a couple comics from it, is the Batman Who Laughs, and like that's just he looks badass.
So you just like it for the comic connection?
No, that has nothing to do with the Batman Who Laughs. The Joker doesn't. I like the idea of like, okay, maybe he is actually his son. He slipped up and had this other kid, and he's fucked up and kicked them out, just like Cruella. It's like Cruella. That's how those. Because she had her Joker moment.
Okay, look, I'm on your side, Will. Did you really just compare Joker and Cruella? Like they're like
no, they're not on par.
That's what it sounded like.
But like they have similar themes.
Okay.
It's because they're both shitty people, but you kind of root for them.
I don't know. Like I said, I do agree with you though. I think Joker as a film is very interesting just to see. I like the idea of a Joker origin story.
Yes, absolutely.
I thought it was cool. Joaquin killed it. I thought the story was good. I disagree with you, unfortunately, because I really do like the story. I think the story was pretty cool.
But what part of the story did you like about it?
Well, I definitely, I mean, again, as you were talking and you said that the possible Bruce Wayne or Thomas Wayne illegitimate son, I thought that was a cool take on it.
Okay, take that away. Then what else do you like about it?
Okay.
The cinematography.
No, that's not the story. I'm talking about the story.
Then
tell me about the story. Why was it good?
Because it takes mental illness, which I like, awareness, and like he's got something wrong with him, and he's broken down by society. Oh, I'm gonna turn into the Joker. It's practically a meme now, but like it's still such a good take on the character, where it's like, okay, he didn't just fall into a vat of acid. He became this almost crime lord, possibly just by inciting like a riot because of just unrest in the city. It shows also the Gotham that they created.
You do realize that this story was already written before they even called it the Joker.
Okay.
So basically this was written for a different
That's
kind
fine.
of movie. It wasn't for the Joker. So when you say like, oh, I like the take of this Joker, you're basically just saying, oh, I like this rewrite of this movie.
But that's fine,
and made it into a Joker movie. The thing is, I'm asking you about the story.
I just talked about the story when you can't yell.
First of all, you were like, oh yeah, the mental illness
which
part
is part
of it
of the story.
Was great. No, I'm talking about the movie itself, the story of the movie, like throughout the screenplay, the script. Tell me what's good about it.
Fine, the twist and turns of him. You don't know. Is he crazy? Is Thomas Wayne lying? Is he actually not seeing Zazie Beetz' character? Did he actually go into that fridge? Because there's theories like that. Oh, he died in that fridge, and the rest is all a fucking dream. There's so much there that I'm sure you could analyze it more, but I don't think you have answers to all the questions.
No, what I'm saying is break down the story for me. Why is it good? Like, for example, if you were to tell me that, okay, this first part of the movie where...
I love it.
What do you call that? Where he was getting chased by the kids, or he was chasing the kids. Why was that part good?
Because it shows that kids are dicks. Like, I mean, like I used to live in a trailer park. This is I promise this will tie in, but I used to live in a trailer park, and I would just be riding a bike, just riding through the the neighborhood or whatever, and then some kid would come out and like hurl rocks at my head, and you saying that it's unrealistic. I don't know. I think that there are people.
No, I
didn't
say it was unrealistic. I thought it was goofy. That it did it that way, where it was like this guy that was just spinning the sign, and then out of nowhere, these kids was just like, beat him up, and then they started kicking him, and then later on in the movie, the person that he works for is like, why did you get rid of that sign? And it's like, the Joker was like, I got beat up or whatever, and I'm like, he's got bruises because he's shown it in the movie. He showed it between scenes that he had bruises from that. So why didn't he just do that? That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like the thing about this movie is that the story is very lame. I think because one, this is an opinion, Okay.
And when
so you guys getting pissed off is just so dumb.
You're the one that's yelling. No,
because the thing is, you haven't said anything that's like relevant to that actual story, like the plot line. Because like all the things that you said is excuses, like mental illness. It's great for them to show that.
You want me to talk about the kids beating him up, and the
guy? I want you to tell me the full story and why it's good.
Okay,
be specific about it.
I am okay. Mental illness is a theme to the story. It's part of his character.
It's a theme, yes.
Just because I said it was a theme doesn't mean it's part of a story. It can be both.
But you just said that.
I said it was a theme, and that is part of his character.
But you just said it was part of the story.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But you just said that it wasn't part of the story.
Oh, whatever.
You literally just said that.
Well, you know, my brain's slow. Just, do you want to talk about the kids and the guy being a dick to him? It's starting to show one civil unrest in this city to where it's not like, oh, this guy went crazy and killed a talk show host, so therefore it's like, oh, there's reasons behind it all. There's already civil unrest. They don't like the fucking rich people. Eat the rich, as the saying goes.
But how does that relate to the kids?
The kids are not being raised. Maybe they're just a gang. Like maybe it's like the Warriors or I almost said Lost Boys, but kind of. They're beating up like just random people. It's a clown, like just spinning a sign who looks like he's having a good time, and they're just like, fuck this. I'm not gonna have a good time. If I'm not having a good time, he's not. So let's beat the shit out of him. The guy not being okay with him losing a sign. Again, that costs money. There's the money struggle, or whatever you want to call it, the power struggle in this city. It shows that. And those are story elements to show, like, again, that when a guy he shoots a talk show host and practically becomes what you could assume, like this crazy guy or whatever you want, or it was all in his head, whatever. It shows that in the story. Because that's what you seem so locked onto.
What?
The story.
No, yeah, I get that, but like, what about the rest?
What?
Well, okay, I think
talk about how, like, okay, first of all, when you have a smart,
grabbing the mic.
No,
I love it
when you're first. The thing is, when you have a movie that talks about the social climate, anything that has to do with politics, the thing is, like, that's not spoon fed to you. It's not like something that you just say like, the society doesn't like us or whatever. Mm-hmm. The thing is, they give you little subtle things like maybe some dude, let's say not the IRS, maybe the IRS. The IRS is taking from these people so that they can give it to these people, that kind of thing. Let's say that. That's subtle. They don't do anything like, oh well, you guys you guys are poor, so I'm gonna take this from you and then I'm gonna give it to these people over here who deserve it more, that kind of thing. The thing is, in this movie, they spoon-feed it to you, and it's an R-rated movie. So we're assuming that both of you are idiots because you don't know what basically how bad society would have to be for them to spoon. No, I'm not saying you guys are.
No, but
what I'm saying is like they're assuming the audience isn't stupid. It's all I'm saying.
No, and I get that, but also I almost agree with you on there because it's like, okay, yeah, probably are making us feel stupid because, and they've left little stuff in there like the clocks that weren't moving or whenever it is a dream and stuff like that for the more watchful viewer. Because a lot of people, like, I went and saw this 4 or 5 times and my dad, my brother, and my sister didn't really like it because it wasn't what they were expecting. And probably because it is a different take but it is spoon fed. I would agree because if you're going to see those things for the watchful viewer, great. But also, you don't need to, and we're just going to give you the story, the twist.
But why? It's a character study, right? It's a movie about watching this guy going through his life and what he has to go through because of his mental illness. So why would you need to spoon feed it to anyone when it's basically just so obvious that this guy's probably not going to have a good time and he's probably going to have some bad things happen to him? So why would you spoon feed that? And it's R-rated.
Well,
it's not made for kids. It's made for adults.
Well,
adults are smarter than kids. Adults can pick up things that kids can't.
A happy ending for him. So
why do I even care about talking to you about this?
Because
I don't really give a shit what you thought about it. You liked it, fine. I don't care.
Well, I like your points because I agree with you.
No, you definitely don't.
No, I do because I understand, yes, the story is spoon-fed. Yes, some of the plot points. But it's the same thing about our Batman versus Superman argument. The stuff with the kids. Dude, I didn't even think about that showing like the civil unrest. But you mentioned it and I thought of it because it fits. The pieces fit. And Robert De Niro's in it. Which I love him as an actor, which is something. That didn't influence my thoughts on the movie, but.
Okay. I've kind of let you two hash it out.
Yeah.
The only thing I really want to say about it is that I really agree with a lot of your points, Win.
Thank you.
I just still like the movie.
That's fine. I keep saying that to Will.
I was not even coming here with the intent of like, all right, we're going to bully this guy.
And neither was
because
that.
He
was
doesn't
his intent.
Like Joker.
That was his intent. Before you got here, he was like, okay, a few days ago, he was like, Win, we're going to bully you about Joker. I'm like, okay.
No.
So I rewatched it, and I still thought it was stupid.
That wasn't my intent.
You are entitled to that opinion.
Exactly. That's
And
what I've been saying.
I can see why you would think it's stupid. Because to be completely honest with you, there were some parts in the movie that I thought were stupid. However, I just like the movie. It's the same reason I like the original Judge Dredd. It's got like a 12% on Rotten Tomatoes. I know that doesn't really matter because Rotten Tomatoes doesn't know exactly everything. But it's like a lot of people didn't like that movie. I love the shit out of that movie. The movie's great.
Yeah.
And
controversy is always fun. So.
I think the story is fine for what the movie is. Because I think a lot of the scenes are just there to further his like descent into madness, that type of thing. Like, of course, all the things are unrealistic or what's happening to him. Because who knows? They may not even be. If we're seeing it from his perspective, they could just be warped, events that, those kids beating him up. That probably didn't even happen. I mean, he may have bruises, yeah, but I mean, who knows? He could have just got him from rolling around in a dirty alleyway, thinking he was chasing some kids.
Yeah.
See, with the whole, like, I've thought about that before. The thing that really takes that away for me was that they will show that almost immediately when it's like in his head, or not show, but they will imply it almost immediately. Because like when he was talking to his boss, you were in the back of the alleyway and he was killing him, and like that was basically the cut. That was the cut. You would assume that was his imagination, that he was killing him.
No,
in the
I
back
don't
of the trash can, he was kicking it. That was supposed to be a guy. That was supposed to be his boss.
No, I never picked that up, but
I thought he was just kicking some trash.
I just thought he was kicking some trash. So maybe we are missing something, TJ. There's no way. That's not true.
There was a foot.
I didn't see the foot.
I never saw the foot either. I've seen the movie 3 times. I never.
Dude, I saw it on IMAX on that big ass fucking screen.
I don't know.
Look.
I was prepared, at least.
Yeah.
Because when I watched it, like I think a few days ago, I watched about the first half of it because I was like, okay, maybe I'll just give it a leeway and just be like, yeah, I thought everything was good except for the story, and that's definitely what happened. But then like I kept watching it, and all I can think of was, man, this is so poorly written in some places, in so many places, that I was kind of like, all I could think of was they could have done so much better. And I guess that's what disappointed me about this movie, was because at first when they announced it, I was very excited. I was, it was all about Joker. It was about a character study. It was about him going through life and what he's going through. I got really excited about that. It was R-rated. And then when I got to the theaters, it was so clear to me that I think they only did the bare minimum when writing the story, and they just kind of reused it. I mean, you take Taxi Driver, you take The Last Comedian, or The Last something like that. It was with Robert De Niro.
Yeah, it's Scorsese. I'm trying to remember, but yes, something comedian.
It's basically similar to those stories, except the only difference is that those stories, they're very gritty. They're not very soft on you when you're watching the movie. They're not very like, oh, this is bad for the character. The character's gonna be so sad, or he's so like, I feel so bad for the character. It wasn't like that for Taxi Driver, and I keep saying in my mind it's
King
Fake
of
Taxi.
Comedy.
King of Comedy, that
yes.
one. It was it was very clear to the audience that you're not supposed to feel bad about these characters, or you're not supposed to feel any sort of thing about the character, but you can't stop watching them for some reason. That's what the problem to me was with Joker, was that they really just said to you that, oh yeah, society is bad, I'm sorry. Even in that train scene that you guys were talking about, or that you were talking about, one of the characters even looked like Trump Jr. And I was just like, well, that's very obvious.
Didn't notice.
I'm just politically active.
Yeah, big brain. But one thing, just since you mentioned the Scorsese film, Scorsese was attached to it for a good bit, actually.
Yeah, he was like one of the producers, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was attached to it for a long time, and then he just dropped out of it. Mm-hmm. So I think that was definitely some of the, and I get the comparisons to Taxi Driver and King of Comedy, but I think either I've seen it too many times or like Joker so much to where I've kind of detached it, and I'm like, it's its own separate being, and you don't really have to compare movies to enjoy it, but I still get it. So yes. What wins?
What? No, nothing. No, I feel like I just wasted my time here.
Well, that's fine. I like your points as always, but they always fuel my fire, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I kind of feel like I was like a kid watching my mom and dad argue there for a minute.
That's okay.
So I was not jumping in. I was like, I'm going to let them get this out.
It's like that all the time.
Well, yeah, because there's a 1.5 hour like Batman versus Superman Snyder argument that we have recorded somewhere. It was awesome. So
and I was mostly right.
Wow.
Because one, it did come out that Warner Brothers suck.
Oh yeah, we knew that.
Like, and it also came out that Warner Brothers also didn't like the thing that Zack Snyder was doing.
I think I was in agreement by that point that Warner Bros. Sucked, but I don't remember.
Yeah. Warner Brothers does suck.
And since we were talking about this for so long, back to anti-heroes real quick. Watchmen, that's a good one.
Oh, Watchmen's great.
Since I'm the Snyder fanboy, had to mention that one.
I mean, Rorschach's just one of the best characters ever written in a movie, in my opinion, because I just love. I love everything about him because I don't know. He's like it's almost like he has like a true sense of justice. It's
yes.
Like any sort of evil demands punishment.
Yes.
And that's like, it's super cool to me.
Yeah, no, I think I would almost agree with that.
My favorite part of the Watchmen was the big blue penis.
Big blue penis.
That was my favorite part.
Dr. Manhattan, all of them you can somewhat consider anti-heroes because they're all dickheads, but like it's that controversy.
You would really hope that Dr. Manhattan wasn't a dickhead because he's essentially God.
Yeah. But yeah, any last...
I still didn't get my answer about the story.
I was giving you points. I'm sorry they weren't good enough.
Well, I thought you said you were prepared.
For Joker? No.
Yes, you did.
I didn't remember saying that.
You did say that. I remember hearing that, and I was like, you know what? I'll watch Joker.
I'm an impartial third party in this whole situation.
I'm very impartial when it comes to movies that people like that I didn't think was good.
Until I attack him.
Until he's like
the best movie ever.
Yeah. And then he's like, why was it bad, Win? And I'm like, well, now you're just poking it.
Well, that's fun. Content. Look. But yeah, anyways, that's another episode of the Continuity Crew podcast.
I can't believe you said you watched that a bunch of times.
I did.
You were like, I never saw a foot.
There's no way there was a foot. I
never saw a foot.
He was kicking a trash can. It wasn't making body kicking sounds. I think
what body kicking sounds do you think it was going to be?
Squish, crunch, whatever.
Ugh. It's beating meat. That's what it sounds like. Not like actually like, but like actually like, not like.
Yeah.
You get it. Yeah.
No, I get it. And now I want to rewatch it.
You're not even paying attention to the sound. Do you even know the music?
Yeah, I have it in my fucking playlist. It's
Who's it by?
It's like they did the music for Chernobyl. It's some name I can't pronounce.
Fake fan.
Yeah, that's me. I should have put up my Joker poster for this. That would have made this all the better. But yeah, anyways. On that note,
those opinions suck.
Well, partially, but I feel like some people would agree with me, and that's how we get more viewers.
If you agree with Will, please click off the channel.
Nah, click subscribe.
Because I'm just going to destroy Will every time.
You didn't destroy me!
I will.
Nah, well. Anyways, let me wrap this up. That's been another episode.
This is deja vu.
It is, because you grabbed the mic and everything, and we argued. It's awesome. But we've been the Continuity Crew. I'm Will.
I'm TJ.
And that's Win. And thank y'all for watching this latest episode on Anti-Heroes. Subscribe if you want to see more. We don't know what next week's topic is going to be, but make sure you subscribe and check out our Continuity Weeklies to keep up with all our stuff. We can do all our announcements for videos on the upcoming week there. Make sure you like. Make sure you comment. Did you like Joker? Win didn't.
I liked it enough to where I'm like, you know what? Everything else was cool, but the story just sucked.
And subscribe if you want to see more. Thank y'all for watching. We love movies. We love y'all. We'll see y'all in the next one.